Hi, and welcome to Yoga and Pilates with Anne. Today's class is a stretching class, and it's going to focus mainly on your hands and on your feet. We don't usually give our hands and our feet the attention they deserve, so let's get started. You won't need much. You can sit in a chair like I'm doing. You can sit on your mat. You won't need anything except for a few minutes we'll be on our knees. So if you like padding for your knees, you might have a pillow or a blanket handy. So we're going to start sitting either in our chair or on our mat, either legs crossed or feet firmly on the floor if you're in a chair, or kneeling if you're on the mat, or legs crossed. Just slowly begin to focus on your body. Take a moment to make sure your ears are over your shoulders. Your shoulders are over your hips. Your feet are planted either firmly on the ground, or you are kneeling or Indian sitting in Sukhasana on your mat. Just take a moment to notice what is touching the floor, what is touching your chair. Place your hands on your legs or allow them to gently rest to your sides. Just take a moment, close your eyes, and breathe. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Pause for a moment and then release. Do that 2 more times, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. 1 more time, breathing in, nice deep breath, and release. Slowly open your eyes and bring your hands out to the side. Palms either facing forward or up, just lengthening your arms out to the side towards the floor, and then begin to lift them up slowly, reaching them out, lifting them up, pressing into your sits bones, lifting, lengthening from the crown of your head as you reach up with your hands. Spread your fingers wide as you reach up high. Roll your shoulders back and down, and maybe look up between your hands if that feels good on your neck. Take a deep breath as you lift your fingertips towards the ceiling. Lift your head towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders back and down. Begin to bring those hands down as you rotate your palms and come down as you exhale, reaching those arms a little bit behind you. And then inhale again, palms up, pressing into your sits bones, lengthening from the crown of your head, looking up if that feels good, spreading those fingers, and then exhaling, the arms come down and wide. Maybe come back a little bit further as you lift your heart up. 1 more time, inhaling up, pressing into your sits bones, lengthening. And this time, we're going to bring our palms forward and then towards the outside. So we're rotating in our shoulder, palms forward, facing each other, and then towards the back. Palms together, facing each other, forward to the side, forward, facing, and back. Let's do that a few more times. Facing, forward, and side, forward, facing, and back. Fingers spread wide, facing, forward, and side, side, forward, facing, and back. Now inhale as you bring your hands together, looking up, pressing your palms together, rolling your shoulders back and down, looking forward, and then taking a slight side bend, Keep pressing those palms together. Inhaling up. Other side. Exhaling to the side. Inhaling up. Keep pressing those palms, rolling those shoulders back and down. Twist to the side as you inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale as you lengthen, and then exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhaling, back to center. Now we're going to press those fingertips up, lift the heart up, and exhale as we bring those arms apart, bring them back and down. Now we're going to do some finger exercises. So we're going to start by facing your hands forward, and we're just going to close our fingers tight into a fist. Roll our shoulders up tightly, and then scrunch your face up and just squeeze your fists, squeeze your face, squeeze your shoulders up, press into your sits bones. Keep rising up from the crown of your head, but scrunching everything. Inhale, and then release everything. Open your hands wide. Roll your shoulders back and down. Release your face. Close your eyes and just pause for a moment. Spread those fingers wide. And let's do that again. Squeeze the hands together. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze your face together. Pause here as you inhale. And on the exhale, release everything. Open your hands. Release your shoulders back and down. Now we're going to bring those hands down to the side. We're going to inhale them up again. Reaching up, and then we're going to reach forward, bending at the hips, spreading those fingers, reaching wide, looking down at your toes or looking down at the mat as you just take a forward stretch. And then release your hands, release your head, and take a seated forward fold. Whether you're sitting on your mat or sitting in a chair, just allow your head to release and relax. Allow your arms to release and relax. Slowly begin to come up and stack your vertebrae one at a time. Keep your head down, arms are falling to the side, and then slowly lift your head up, lift your shoulders up, and roll them back and down. Let's come back to the hands, palms forward, fingers spread wide, and let's curl our fingers in really slowly. So before we made a fist quickly, this time we're going to make a fist slowly. So you're going to curl your fingers in towards your palm, slowly, 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 curving each knuckle in, and pause here. So you've got your fingers curled in, you've got the first knuckle of your finger facing up, and you're just going to squeeze those fingertips in towards your palm. Then bring the rest of your fist in, close your thumb around them, and then open them wide. Do that one more time. Curl the fingers down and in. Take your time, slowly, slowly. Curl them into a fist. Curl your thumb in, and then release wide. Now we're going to touch our fingers to our thumb one at a time. So start with the pointer to your thumb, squeeze, and then wide. Middle finger, squeeze and wide. Ring finger, squeeze and wide. Pinky, squeeze and wide. Let's keep going. Pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. One more time. Pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. Now we're going to shake our hands out, and we're going to move to the wrist. So I want you to reach one hand forward, elbow center up, palm forward, and just reach over with the other hand and gently pull back on your fingers. So you want your arm and your wrist at about shoulder height forward, and you want to gently pull back on all of your fingers, gently pulling back, gently stretching the inside of your wrist, taking nice deep breaths as you stretch. Try not to hold your breath when you're doing a stretch. Gently tugging, not pulling too hard, but just feeling the stretch, maybe up your arm, across your shoulder. And let's release the fingers. Bring the back of the hand forward, palm facing you, and gently get a stretch on the other side of that wrist. Gently pulling back on the hand, taking breaths as you stretch. And release. Let's get the other side. Other hand, palm forward, reaching back, gently tugging back with the fingers. Breathing as you stretch, adjusting your hand to feel comfortable. Trying not to hyperextend your elbows. I know sometimes I do that. And try to always keep a slight bend in your joints just to protect them. But gently pull back on the fingers and then release. Back of the hand facing forward, palm towards you, and gently pull back as you stretch the other side of the wrist. Breathing in, reaching, stretching that wrist, giving your hand that does so much for you all day long, some of that love that it deserves. Maybe even squeezing down on the palm, squeezing down and releasing. Now shake those hands out. Move that head from side to side. Maybe rotate in a circle if that feels good to you. Let's take a deep breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And now we're going to try another finger exercise where we're going to bring your hands forward, clasp them together, and reach your knuckles forward as you squeeze your hands together. Inhale those hands up so that the tops of your arms are by the sides of your ears. Squeezing those hands, palms together if you can, reaching them up, rolling your shoulders back and down. Now turn those palms, bend your elbows, turn those palms towards the ceiling. Once again, stretching those fingers, squeezing those arms towards your ears, trying to straighten them out without hyperextending, pressing into your sits bones, lengthening. And then bring those hands forward. So palms are facing forward, your hands are still clasped. Face the palms towards you and bring those hands towards your chest, elbows out to the side. Pull your elbows apart as you squeeze your fingers together. So you're pulling those elbows apart, squeezing your hands together. If you're like me and you just put lotion on your hands, you might notice your fingers are trying to come apart as you pull those hands. Just keep grasping, keep pulling. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed and down as you pull your arms apart. Keep grabbing if you need to, if you're slipping like me. But just gently pull as you squeeze all those fingers together. Squeezing and pulling, squeezing and pulling. Now release and shake. Shake, shake, shake. Move your head. Maybe move your body from side to side. Let's inhale and exhale. Let's inhale and let's twist to the right, bringing one arm forward, one arm back. Hold, looking to the side, inhaling up, lengthening again, and then twisting to the other side, bringing one arm forward, one arm back. Inhaling up, and let's stretch to the side. Inhale up, and stretch to the other side. Inhale up, lengthen, And exhale the arms down. Now we're going to stand up and give our feet some love. So stand up from wherever you are. Take your time. Walk your feet back and forth. You've been sitting for a while. And we're going to start by standing in mountain pose. So mountain pose, feet hips width apart. Your hips are right about here. Your hands are by your side. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and just stand as straight as you can with ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over ankles. Press into your feet. Notice all portions of your feet, your toes, your heels, the outer, the inner edges. Take a few breaths here, maybe even closing your eyes, just getting a feel for yourself, standing in your mountain pose, your Tadasana pose, just for a moment. And then begin to open your eyes and lift your toes from the ground. Lift them up. As you press into the rest of your feet, lift your toes, lift your big toe, your little toes, spread them wide and place them back down. If you're not used to this, it's going to be really hard to do. So press into your feet again as you lift your toes. Spread your toes and release them down. If you're having trouble with this, you can always bring your feet wider than hips width. Let's do that one more time. Press into your feet. Lift your toes. Spread them wide and release them down. Now we're going to go forward and back. So we're going to go on our toes, tippy toes, and then come back on our heels. Tippy toes coming up and back on our heels. Notice how your ankles might be cracking. Things are saying, wait a minute, what are you doing? You're doing something I'm not used to. My ankles are cracking right now as we speak. Just back and forth on the toes and on the heels. Slowly, mindfully, back and forth. You can always bring your hands out to the side or on your hips if that feels more comfortable. And then just bring your hips into it, hips forward and back as you lift your toes, hips forward as you come up on your tippy toes, and hips back as you lift your toes. A few more times, heel toeing, stretching out those toes, stretching out those feet, activating your ankles and your legs. Now let's do the outside. Roll to the outside, gently, gently. Roll to the outside of your feet. Notice the sensation in your legs and your ankles. And then gently roll to the inside, to the inner portions of your feet. Gently roll out and gently roll in. Do that a few more times, and as always, if I say to do something and it hurts, it causes you pain, then stop immediately and rest. You could have an injury, an ankle injury. You could just have a very tight ligament or something. If there's anything that I say that hurts, just stop immediately, always. So we're still rolling outside and inside. And now come to stillness. And we're going to stretch the top of our foot. So bend one leg, come to the ball of your foot, and then gently, and use a chair if you need to, or a wall for balance. You can always do that with any of our exercises. So just come to the ball of one foot, and then roll over onto the top of those toes. So be very careful, and like I said, hold on to something rather than falling if your balance is giving you problems today. But just come to the tops of your foot. Notice the stretch in the top of your foot. The knee should be coming forward. You shouldn't have a lot of weight in this foot. Most of your weight should be in the standing foot. But just gently place a little bit of pressure on that foot and then roll to the pinky side. gently, gently, gently roll to the big toe side. Once again, very gently, pinky toe and big toe. Adjust if you have to. Pinky toe and big toe. And then just one more time on the tops of your toes, trying to get a stretch on the top of your foot. Pause here, take a few breaths, and then release. Come to the ball of your foot again, and then just do a circle with that foot. So circle in one direction, rotating on the ball of that foot, stretching those toes, and then reverse that circle in the other direction, moving that knee, rotating on the ball of the foot, and then shake it, release it out. Shake that standing foot. And then let's get the other side. So we're going to start first by standing in the standing leg, coming to the ball of the foot we're going to work. Okay, just take a moment, find your balance, or hold on to a wall or a chair. And then we're going to come gently to the top of that foot, to the finger or the toenails of that foot, and gently press. So most of your weight is in the standing foot, not the stretching foot. Just gently pressing, pressing. And then come to the big toe side and roll out to the pinky toe. Gently, gently rolling back and forth. Concentrating on the big toe and then rolling across to the pinky toe. Getting a stretch in your ankle as well as your feet. From side to side. Gently, gently. Again, if it hurts, stop and just do something that feels good, a stretch that feels good to you. One more time. Big toe, pinky toe. And then release. Now we're going to come to the ball of our foot and start the circle. One direction, rolling that knee around, getting some movement in the ankle and in the foot. Once again, being very gentle, not to stretch or pull anything, but we want not to, well, we do want to stretch, but we don't want to pull anything in your foot. So let's reverse that circle in the other direction. Breathing as we do. Noticing the cracks as we roll. And then release that foot. Shake both feet out. Once again, we're going to come to the toes and the heels. Toes and heels. Toes and heels, lifting those toes. And then rolling to the outside gently and to the inside. Rolling outside and inside. Lifting up from your ankles. Trying to keep tall. Activating your legs and your feet as you roll. In and out. Now, once again, we're going to take a seat. And you can either sit in a chair or you can sit on your mat, depending on what you're more comfortable with. We're going to take our feet and we're going to bring one foot in. So it would be like a half Indian sit. So hopefully, or a figure 4 seat. So hopefully you can bring that foot in close enough so that you can take your hand and weave your hand into your toes. So hopefully you can see that. I'm taking my pointer finger between my big toe and my next toe. And I'm taking the next finger, helping to spread the toes apart. Another finger in between the next toes, and my pinky finger in between my pinky and my other toe. So take a moment, be gentle on your feet, okay? Be gentle on your toes as you do this. Once again, if this is not working for you, don't do it. If this hurts, don't do it. But the first time I ever did this in a class, I thought, whoa, this is terrible. I hate this. But now I do it a lot, and it's very good for your feet and for your toes. So we're going to take a moment and just notice those fingers in between those toes. Notice how it's spreading those toes. It probably is a bit uncomfortable. It shouldn't hurt. But now I want you to take your fingers and just press back your toes gently, gently with your hand. And then bring it in the other directions. Stretch the top of your foot. And you can use your other hand as well to stretch the top of that foot. Let's keep doing that. So bring the toes back. Flex at the ankle. And then bring the toes forward, gently pulling back with your hands. Take your time as you press back and forward. And now we're going to rotate in a circle. Again, being very gentle as you rotate your foot at the ankle. Noticing how your toes feel, how the top of your foot feels, maybe even how your hip feels right here. My hip is getting a nice stretch right now. And one more time, pressing the toes back and pressing them forward. Release your fingers from the toes. Open and close your hands. Open and close your toes. Notice the feeling of the one foot as you release it back down compared to the other foot. How do your feet feel? Let's try the other side. Lifting the other leg up to however it's comfortable for you. You might bend it differently than me, but figure four or cross leg should work fine. And then take pointer finger in between your big toe and that toe. The middle finger comes next, between the next two toes. Ring finger between the next two toes. Take your time. Sometimes it helps if you have lotion on your hands or if you lotion up your feet before this. And then pinky finger. Take a moment as you spread your toes with your fingers. And then press the toes gently back as you flex the foot. And then point the toes as you gently pull back, stretching the top of your foot. Taking your time, pressing back. And gently stretching forward. Let's do that one more time in each direction, pressing back and pressing forward. And then take this in a gentle circle. Just circle at the wrist, at the ankle. Slowly. And then reverse that circle. Those toes separated. My pinky finger came out of my pinky toe. That happens. And just adjust and move your body. And then come to stillness. Once more, pull back. Pull those toes forward and back. Pull those toes back. And then release your hands, shake your hands out, shake your feet out, maybe stamp them on the ground, whatever feels good for you. And then if you're seated on the ground, bring your legs forward. If you're in a chair, just lift your legs or just set them on the ground forward, but we're just going to point and flex our toes. Point and flex. Maybe spread your toes as you flex and squeeze them as you point. Spread as you flex, squeeze as you point. Pointing and flexing our feet and then rotating in a circle. I don't know if you can hear my ankles cracking, but they do. And then in the other direction, hold your legs if that feels comfortable, trying to sit up straight and tall, lengthening your spine as you do everything, tucking in your belly, and then release your feet down. One more time, maybe stamp them or do whatever feels comfortable. And now we're going to take this class onto the mat, onto our knees. Once again, we're not going to be here very long, but if you have delicate knees and you're not on a soft carpet or a soft surface, you can always use a blanket or a pillow under your knees to protect your knees. Okay, don't hesitate to do that because a lot of people have delicate knees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to curl our toes under. So we're kneeling up, curling our toes under like this. And I want you to gently, gently begin to bring your hips back, sitting your hips on your heels, stretching your toes. Now for some people this is very uncomfortable and you might want to come onto your hands, lifting your hips up a bit. But for those of you who can stand this, sit back on your heels, stretching those toes, or come forward a bit on your hands, whatever works for you. You just want to feel a stretch in your toes. Now slowly, slowly begin to rotate to the pinky side and rotate your foot to the big toe side, just rolling on your toes from side to side. Whether you're sitting on your heels, you notice your heels will go out to the side when you're rolling on the pinky toe side, and they'll come in closer when you're rolling to the big toe. Just roll a few times from side to side, and then come to stillness just for a few more breaths. Taking a nice breath, stretching those toes back. If you can do this just for a few minutes every day, your toes will thank you. Those of you who've ever had plantar fasciitis, problems with your feet, with your ankles, this is a nice thing to do this class, to give your feet some love, give your hands some love. One more breath, trying to get your mind off of it. Come out of it if you need to, but if you can do it, one more breath. And then slowly come forward, off of your toes. Oh boy, that does feel interesting, right? So now we're going to come to the tops of our toes and sit back and notice the stretch in the other direction. So now your feet, your toes, instead of stretching back, are stretching forward. I know this feels good to me. And we're just going to roll our hips from side to side, maybe rolling a little bit on the tops of our feet. Once again, if this does not feel good to you, you come forward a bit and just do it with less weight on your feet. You still are on the tops of your feet, but you're just rolling with less weight on your feet, on your heels. Okay? So do this a few more times, just rolling gently from side to side. And now, I want you to come to an easy seated position and then roll on to your back. So slowly come to your back. We're nearing the end of the class. We're going to do dead bug. So start on your back, with your hands by your side, I want you to take a moment to tuck your shoulders down and your shoulder blades in. Take a moment to bend your knees, feet on the floor, lift your hips up slightly and lengthen your lower back so that your lower back comes to the floor. Now I'd like you to lift one leg up, lift the other leg up, and if you need to, hold on to those legs. If you don't need to hold on to those legs, lift your arms up as well and just begin to rotate at your ankles, at your wrists, rotating your feet, rotating your hands in dead bug pose. Try to release the rest of your body. And you can always do the same thing with bent knees. If this is too much on your lower back, bend your knees and rotate your feet. You're still getting the benefit of the movement and the benefit of getting a lot of the fluids that tend to go to our extremities during the day. So if we're seated, if we're not moving very much, you notice your feet might swell, your fingers might swell. If you go to bed at night and do this, you tend to get a lot of the fluids that settle in your feet, settle in your legs, settle in your arms and your fingers back to your lymph system, back to your heart. And the same with waking up. Doing this, waking up, or a sun salutation or two, it's really good. Reverse those circles, and again, your legs can be up, which is very beneficial, or you can bend at the knees, or you can be holding your legs up, it doesn't matter. Whatever dead bug pose you like to do, you do it. And then release the feet, bend the knees, release the feet down. And that's it for this class today. If you would like, and I often suggest it for every stretching class, every Pilates class, every yoga class, if you'd like to take a Shavasana, please take it now. Release your legs, release your arms, release your head, and just take anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes. Lying on the ground, eyes closed, focusing on your breath, allowing the practice to settle into your body. If you'd like to take a Shavasana, please take it now. If not, just take one inhale, lifting your arms,